As the only member of Congress from Michigan who was appointed to the conference committee, my role was to be a huge advocate, as I always have been, for the Great Lakes. And so I'm very pleased that our final bill includes provisions that will significantly benefit these wonderful natural treasures that we have in Michigan and through the whole Great Lakes Basin. Because for the first time, the Great Lakes will be designated as a single comprehensive navigational system, which will allow the Great Lakes to present a unified front when we're competing against other regions for federal funding and resources. And this designation as well will increase equity and help us get more resources for different kinds of projects within the lakes themselves. Also for the first time, funds that are designated from what they call the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund, specifically for projects within the Great Lakes, will happen now, and it really helps better allocate funds collected for harbor maintenance across the country, so that soon 100% of all the funds collected from users of our ports for this purpose are actually used that way as the law actually intends, and really to help improve and maintain America's maritime infrastructure, which is so essential to our economy. And then finally, the legislation as well calls on the Fish and Wildlife Service, the Corps of Engineers, the National Park Service, and the U.S. Geological Survey to work with state and local officials to slow the spread of Asian carp, which, as we all know, poses a huge threat to the Great Lakes ecosystem. I have lived my entire life along the shores of our magnificent Great Lakes, and I certainly understand, as all of you do, the threat that these Asian carp, these invasive species, can be for our Great Lakes, which is a multi-billion-dollar recreation and tourism industry, but really it's also our very way of life. So I'm pleased that my fellow conferees agreed that the Great Lakes are a national treasure worthy of the protections included in this bill, and it's a very important recognition of the Great Lakes and their contribution to the national economy, the entire economy, and it certainly takes the steps necessary to ensure that they're maintained not just for this current generation, but for generations to come as well.